Really? What's the other one?
And the Samohi.
Oh, the Sandini Marchana.
And also a root text for Zen Buddhism.
This one? Oh, I see.
It's very, very famous.
Oh, yeah. I'm not very familiar with it. We don't study sutras in the monastery. You know, if you read sutras, you have to do it on your own. You know.
It has all the cool metaphors, like flower in the sky. Tree.
Oh, yeah?
Oh my God.
All those things.
Wow.
Moon in the water.
Oh.
Yeah. Illusion. All those.
Yeah, maybe we have to translate it someday when we don't have anything to do.
Lanka is a place.
Sri Lanka.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just Sri Lanka. Yeah. That's a famous country because they misspelled the name of it. SRI. They took the British thing with the thing on the top and they just threw out the thing on the top. So they miswrote the name of their country. It should be SHRI. They write SRI. Because it was written SRI with a accent mark on the top, so you just took the accent mark off and threw it off. It's like Canton for Guangdong.
Oh, that's because. Oh, yeah.
It's just British laziness. It's like Lhasa instead of Halassa.
You ever listen to BBC announcers pronounce foreign words?
Yeah.
It's hilarious. They pronounce it with this absolute conviction.
Yeah.
Totally wrong.
But I love their voices. When it comes on the radio, I feel happy. I feel I met someone with culture. Yeah. They convinced us that we didn't know how to speak English.
It's the debate attitude.
No.
They're still a bit bossy, and there's no country. I mean, it's 60% Pakistani or something. But they're still like, we know what to do, and we're like, okay. We still believe it.
Oh, Gibson has a folder.
What's that?
Gibson has a folder.
Gibson has a folder.
Yeah. It's getting close.
We found a commentary to the letter to the student, and it's a major length commentary, which usually means it's a serious commentary. But I have to read it because it might not be. It might be a bad commentary. I don't know yet.
One from Nagasaki.
It's a Mongol.
Oh, I mean the letter to the student.
Chandragomi. Like the same time as Nagarjuna. Early. Sorry, later. He corrected me. No, I always get him mixed up with Ashwabosha. Shura. Pao. Lopan
You have a
Pao.
new one.
New one? Yeah. Okay.
It's in your mail.
Okay, thank you.
You've got red.
I remember that.
What's that?
You got mail.
That was such a cool thing.
25 years ago,
The actual thing.
the actual thing.
Venerable Phil is that young.
Do you know Bodhisattva called Vimalakirti?
Oh, there's a famous book. Yeah.
He's like debating with all the Bodhisattvas.
Yeah, I've never read it. An American translated it. I think it looks beautiful.
It's so
It looks beautiful.
Because he's not a monk.
Mm.
He's a rich guy with a lot of wives and houses.
Is it long? Is it a long sutra?
Longer than, maybe similar to that.
Yeah, I mean,
Question is whether you can actually.
we don't use it much in the monastery, but an American guy translated it, and it was very popular. It was, if you're gonna do a popular book,
Yeah.
I think that would be a good one.
Oh, really? Let's see
Mystical
if it works.
during
Because
the
that'll tell me whether I
He
should
beat
send it.
all the Bodhisattvas.
Who did?
The Vimalakirti.
Oh, the businessman.
Yeah, and the only Manjushri is like you know.
Oh, try to fight.
Yeah.
We should read it sometime.
Because in China.
Once you start translating, you're in trouble because you're like, I want to translate that. I want to translate that.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of discipline to finish a book. I know many translators who have 20 unfinished translations in their house because they got interested in something else.
Actually, you sort of do that too.
Yeah, it just comes up.
Yeah.
I mean, there were many things in Tantra where you said, oh, we gotta finish this.
Yeah.
Oh, we gotta finish this.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Ba, 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 ba. I think we're here.
Huh? Let me see. It's like a different one.
I think we just finished. Really?
Is this one? You
Yeah,
sent?
this is the one I had to fix. Yeah, I just sent you this one. Date, look, date 5/26.
Today is 28.
Yeah, but the last time I worked on your text, it was the 26th.
So we're going to.
It was a mess. We're in the middle of a mess. It took a lot of work to fix it.
Are we not ever in the middle?
Well, this text is a mess. Well, the text breaks down at some point. I think there's a carving error. We never had a good carving of this author.
Oh.
You know, we had problems getting a book. What are you doing?
Hey, Andrea, will it be possible for me to get your dance card while you're here?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, cool.
In that sutra I just mentioned, he used a debate that when Buddha can become a prostitute. Use your desire to
Oh, right.
attract you and lead you to the path of very
As in, like, thinking about.
a lot of crazy things.
One, all those.
Because he's reading all the big Mahabuddhist one by one. Like
Oh, the
Buddha
one you
said
just
one,
did.
two.
I didn't type the whole thing. Oh,
Then
I
he
typed
bit
out whatever you
them,
translated.
and
Yeah.
then he went back
Yeah,
to Buddha and said, I
what
couldn't
you sent.
fit him, and then Buddha sent another one. Like that, for 10 rounds or something. And then
Until he
finally,
finally read it.
Manjushri went,
Oh,
and they like, and then they debate, they discuss, and attract many other students. Like even like they was, they just show up, and suddenly the debate ground becomes a heaven. And then
Oh, yeah.
it's really,
it does sound like a fun one to translate.
it's a little bit like the what I really meant sutra, because they are all cool discussions. But the fact that in this one it's the householder, so this is the against all the Bodhisattva. And it's all about emptiness. Yeah. So it's very heavy. I bet there are many cool debates inside, like syllogism.
You are 468105549
Yes.
I have a QQ account too, but I didn't use it.
That's Hanson's email. QQ.
What's that?
Hanson's email. The Shenzhen company, Hanson.
Oh, Tencent.
Yeah, he started from QQ.
Oh.
He started from QQ. Like,
Whoa. Why'd you decide about investing?
Oh, I've been asking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, he said,
He has some solutions.
okay, good. All right, cool.
I can't tell you.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Yay. Are we ready, guys?
She's getting.
Started. Oh, thank you.
So, shall we start?
Up to you.
Sashi
Puki Joshin Meto Cham Rira Bling Shin Yende Gempadi Sangye Shingdu Mikte Uargi
Dakshingma Juparsho Inam Guru Ratna Mandala Kandriyatayami
Sangha
Chudam Soki Jodnam La Janju Bardu Dagni Gyapsuchi Lagi Chunyen Gibe Sunamgi Jola Pinchir Sangye Juparsho
Sangha
Chudam Soki Jognam La Jangchu Bardu Dagni Gyapsuchi Dagi Chunyen Gibe Sonamgi Jola Venchir Sangye Druparsho
Sangha
Chudang Soki Jognam La Jangchu Bardu Dagni Gyapsuchi Dagi Chunyen Gibe Sonamgi Jola Venchir Sangye Druparsho.
Smoky dokie.
So 3 words. So how about the first one? Business.
No.
Business.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. It's like commercial activities.
Buying and selling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Buying stuff?
Is Nyo?
Buying and selling.
Nyo is buy.
Yeah, nyo means to buy, song means to sell.
So, and
But it means commercial activity. Yeah.
that's all.
Business.
You don't have to put means, Alison. They're all going to be means.
Oh, it's for
It really what we call business nowadays.
Business.
A fully ordained nun is not allowed to do business.
How about like
Bloom begging bowl.
Sage's school.
Oh.
Yeah, Rinpoche used to get upset if people called it a begging bowl. He said, no, it's a wisdom bowl. It's a sage's bowl.
Begging.
So Sage.
He'd get really upset if people said begging bowl. But the word for monk is bhikshu. Bhikshu, beggar. Okay.
How about the third word?
And then
Ooh, nasty. Nasty. Difficult. Very difficult.
direct name.
It means direct name, but what does it mean?
To invest money?
Investing.
Yes.
Investing money.
Invest
Yeah.
money.
Fully ordained. Yeah, of course.
For instance.
To make more money. Yeah. It's nuns are not allowed to invest money,
Okay.
or monks.
Correct.
It's a kind of business, really. And I think you have to say, I mean, you ask monks at Sarah right now, why do you guys own houses? Why do you use money? They'll say, in Thailand, you can still go up to a person's door and knock and get fed, but it's not that way in India.
Not so much.
You will starve if you try to keep these vows.
Yeah.
So then they say, Dön Chambo Mayimba. In the text it says, unless
Higher
there's
purpose.
some compelling need. If there is compelling need, you can do that. Yeah. Okay.
And 3 questions.
Ooh,
What's
that's
the
a good
division
question.
Our author gives for the 2 types of punctum.
Tungches and
No, 2 kinds of tungches.
Pangtung Bashiks.
It's 2 kinds of tungches.
Pangtungs and
Pangtung and
Tungche
tungche bashi.
Bashik.
Nice.
uh,
Nice. She's doing Vinaya. Yeah. Which is extremely difficult.
so the question should have said,
Yeah, these are divisions of tungche.
oh, no, this is, so my answer was not, this is a further division.
Is it?
Divisions of Pangtung.
I don't think so. You want 2 divisions of tungche, LTUNG.
I want to say that
Yeah.
those who are related to householders.
Yeah, it's 2 divisions of tungche, LTUNG, BYET, LTUNG, BYED. Tungche is divided into Pangtung and Tungche Bashik, I think, unless I'm wrong.
That's true, but and then he's saying that there's a further division of Pangtungs into the ones related to householders and the ones related to the ordained. Although I don't know.
No, further divided into unique ones for nuns and ones shared with monks.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Okay? You want me to show you the text?
Yeah, let's look.
Okay, let's go
Go
back.
to the tape.
Now this is a lot.
Also, you
And this is it here.
try, so you have
So, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, duh. I'm going to take the screen back for a second, okay? Then I'll give it back to you. We are on the category called Tungje, okay? Which is the third tier, meaning third most serious vow breakings, okay? And it's divided into two types. Those which relate to the everyday behavior of lay people, and those which relate to the everyday behavior of ordained people. The first one is called Bangtung, and the second one is called Tungje Bashi. Okay.
So the pangtungs are the ones that relate to the householder.
Yeah, yeah. Meaning doing business, you know, selling things, doing, and then it'll get into your bowl and your robe, and those are all ordained people stuff. Okay, so that's the great division. Okay. And he totally, this part of the text is very corrupt, extremely corrupt. It's been quite unpleasant.
Where did that legalese come from?
Oh, that came from
The
The British, oh no, they weren't there.
Sanskrit, I think.
so finish
Yeah, please, I'm sorry. You go ahead and take it back, yeah.
the second.
Take the blame.
I'm sorry. Take the screen again.
Oh,
She's trying.
There we go.
There you go.
okay. What's the difference between the first 16 second-tier vows and the last 4?
I think it's the one that Geshe Michael just said, that there's ones that are shared with monks and ones that aren't. Ones that are unique to nuns and then ones that are shared with the monks.
Yeah, the first 16 are unique for nuns,
Nuns.
and the last 4 are shared with the monks. Yes.
You probably have to keep saying, if you want to be precise, you have to keep saying fully ordained nuns and fully ordained monks.
Oh, right.
Because there's novice monks, and there's intermediate nuns and novice nuns. So to be precise, you're going to have to keep repeating fully ordained. Or full, you can say full nun.
So 4 nun and fully ordained nun are
Same thing. Yeah, except full nun can also mean she ate too much. She's full.
Okay.
She has a big bowl. Because you can't go back twice.
The third one.
That would be householder activity.
What do you have to do after you give something to an ordained person to break the 7th of the third tier vows?
You take it back.
Take it
Yeah,
back.
you take it back.
Yeah, in English we call Indian giving.
Not anymore.
Indian giving. It's a little bit of a bad word.
A little bit.
Yeah, it means the white people gave the Indians many land and then they took it back.
It's when you steal someone's
It means when you give something and then you take it back.
And sure you say take it back, get somebody else to take it back. Or you don't.
Yeah, it's 2 separate vows. Yeah, 2
So
separate
it's
vows.
2 here, right?
Yeah, no, it's just one.
You take it back.
You give something to somebody else, and either you take it back yourself, or you get your little monk in your house to take it back. And the chok, the word that's used for the vow is stealing, but that's not the emphasis. The emphasis is that you, and there must be a heavy lengshi, which means what?
Something went down.
Something went down. There was a big problem. Some monk gave something to another monk, and then without permission entered his room or sent someone to enter his room to take it back. Then the guy noticed it was missing, and he went out to find out where it was, and there was a big to-do in the monastery, and then they figured out that the guy took his own thing back, and then he said, well, after all, it was mine in the first place. You know, and it just creates confusion, trouble in the monastery. That's why you make vows. But then it gets too long, to be honest. All right, there should be this Trump thing where you have to cancel a vow. You should cancel a vow after you make a vow. You should cancel another vow when you make a new vow because it gets too many.
Take it back. Yeah, either one. Well, were those 2 separate vows, or was that the same vow?
So we just say
Take it back
take it
yourself,
back.
forget little monks.
To give something of value to another ordained person, and then to either take it back or steal it back. is a single vowel.
And if you get someone else to do it, is that the same?
In this case, it's the same vowel.
Okay.
But in some cases, in the case of takpa,
Right. Cloth.
Weaving cloth.
weaving cloth,
Yeah.
taking raw wool and weaving it into a garment,
Yeah, getting someone else to do is a different.
it's two different vowels. You send your little assistant to have it done.
Below 5 foot.
Which one's worse karma?
Getting someone else to do it.
Yeah, it's always,
Get two.
yeah, the karma vibhanga, right?
Right. I'll be darned.
Okay, all right.
Okay, thank you.
Yay! So what happened in this text was he promised us 9. He got to, well, actually he got to
That's right. 3 and
he got to a single syllable takpa, and that then you have to figure out that means 2 vowels. Okay, it took me like 3 days. I was really frustrated. I had to look through 25 Vinaya texts. What's the problem with these vowels?
They're not all in
Tradition
one.
is broken.
The tradition has been broken for 1,000 years. There is no living commentarial tradition, you know. Everything else we've been studying, there are people alive who are still passing it down. But not, this one's cut 1,000 years ago. And no one, you know, even as a theoretical thing, they didn't study it. Except Choni Lama took a shot. You can, as a old translator, I can feel he's not so confident. He's like, okay. So anyway, here he says takpa, which you have to interpret as the 2 weavings to get the number that he promised. Okay. All right. So that was 5 and 6. To get to 7, you've got to radically respell kepa. So k can mean a gift, SKYED. So you have to take this verb and restructure. You have to reverse engineer, okay? Because it doesn't relate at all to takpa. There's no relationship between takpa and k. So you have to read it as ke topa, give a gift and then take it back, okay? And okay. By the way, that usage of ke probably relates to gye, which in the monastery is the word for your share of a communal offering to the monastery.
Yeah.
Spell that gay.
Oh man, apostrophe gyed.
Good to know.
Okay, and that comes from a verb which means to split up. No, gay means to split up. Like wrinkle, a wrinkle is called a gay. Anyway, okay. Topa. Okay, so I'm going on to the easy stuff. We finished the disaster stuff, okay, and I'm really proud that we worked it out because it took many days. But I just come in and tell you, you know. But I lose a lot of hair at home. Okay, I figured it out in the car on the way to Cottonwood. I was like, oh damn, that's what it is. Okay, anyway, Lopa. Oh, please read. Okay. This one's hard, and it's probably misspelled. What's Ngoa?
Dedication.
Good, dedication. In Vinaya, Ngoa has a specific meaning, okay? So her vocabulary is completely different, and her vocabulary is the oldest in this room. It's definitely 2,500 years old, so very difficult. So Ngoa in the ancient times means the sponsor gave you something and dedicated it to a certain purpose. You see, Ngoa. And then that causes all kinds of trouble in the monastery. You know, what did the sponsor want? And it's a very fundamental principle of Buddhist finance that you never ever change a Ngoa without asking. Okay. So anyway, this Kyurpa means
Changing.
redirect. Okay, this is a famous vow to redirect a dedicated funds,
Earmarked.
earmarked funds. Yeah,
Earmarked.
to redirect funds, money, or cloth or food that was,
Resource.
given for a certain purpose, which is ngora. Okay?
Without asking?
Yeah, if you ask, it's okay. If you go back to the sponsor and say, Three Jewels is having trouble opening their new place, Diamond Mountain has an extra 100,000 that you gave for the roads, can we redirect it to Three Jewels for a while? And they said yes. Then to get them to replace the 100. Okay. That's another hair losing thing. Okay, now he left out completely number 9. And I figured it out. So for some reason he just forgot it, or he left it out, or it, don't forget the Lama is writing on a piece of paper and some guy's carving it from the paper who cannot read. Okay, the carvers almost exclusively could not read, and the painters also. So if there's writing on a painting like Tsongkhapa's biography paintings, the 15 paintings, to figure those out was like unbelievable. It took 15 years. We did it, but it was quite an exercise. So anyway, Sokjok means to store things. We're not allowed to store things. Monks and nuns are not allowed to store, store up, go to Costco, buy extra, stockpile. Stockpile's nice.
Yeah.
That'd be a nice translation, stockpile things.
Would it be song joke? I'm just trying to get my.
This sok means to collect. It's like sok or sak. Sak la mache. Sak la
Would it
mache.
be song joke?
Yeah, it would be song jok. Sok jok. Sok jok.
Song joke?
Yeah.
So
It just happens to be song jok. Yeah.
Okay, but it's not unusual that the prenasal kind of
Yeah,
before the
exactly.
suffix, yeah.
As if it were an open bell. Yeah. Good noticing. All right. I thought you might like to see the vow itself. This comes from the Bhikshuni Pratimoksha Sutra from the Kangyur, which is 00004.
Right.
So the Vinaya texts are the first text in the Kangyur. Okay. Chomdendeki geloma namla pembada sostembajoichir. Men kanda katsalpaditate. What did the Buddha say about medicine? Okay. Shumar Dumar Puram Jangti. For medicinal purposes, you might use butter. You might use the butter of different, like almond butter of grains and nuts. You might use brown sugar. You might use honey. Bubbled honey, bubbled gur. Anyway, if a full nun is sick, nawa, duna, and needs them, then they do a special ritual that says, may I store these medicinal substances in my nun's cell. Okay, but there's an expiration date for that. Okay.
How long you can hold it?
Shakdin. 7 days.
24-hour period.
Yeah, 7 24-hour periods. Lapte. Chingi lap means you have to do a ritual over the medicine and say, I need this for my health. So I'm stockpiling. Okay. Sokjoki yosu chepa yosu long chepa chao. Buddha said that's fine. Okay. Buddha said go ahead and do it. So this also, just for our own general, in DCI, people are going to ask you questions. There's a lot of exceptions for sick people. I mean, that was traditional. Can you take alcohol in a medicine? And Buddha said yes. Okay. So you have to be flexible in the case of someone's ill, okay, or has an extraordinary need. You have to be flexible. That's just even in the Vinaya. That's a principle, okay? If you pass 7 days and you don't re-bless it, okay? Pangtung. Yeah, and that's the wording of the ancient Vinaya scripture, okay? Cool? It's the Pratimoksha Bhikshuni for nuns, for full nuns, okay?
So that's how you found the one that he was missing.
Yeah, I had to go find it. He missed it completely. Then he said that makes 9, and he had 7.
Uh-huh. So you split 2 to make 6 and 7. And
Yeah, I was so proud of myself, but that's not unusual
we're
either.
proud of you.
Okay, go ahead.
Grateful anyway.
Buddha Tsugu Poni Ge Long Gi Ke
Cup.
Kap Shin
Shin,
Shin
shin, shin,
Shin
shin.
Shin
Nice.
In Chinese, I think when you have an N at the end of the word, you say shin,
Shin
yin, in. And this is a short I, in,
In
like in. It's not in, it's in, shin.
Shin
Yeah. I don't know if you have that vowel in Chinese, in,
In
short I. Okay. All right, anyway. Otherwise, you're going to sound a lot lighter when we talk to you because well, you must be Chinese. All right. Good day, which makes 9.
Uh-huh.
Okay, that's where I had the problem. Which makes a total of churgu. We say churgu, I don't know why.
She.
We shouldn't say churgu, but we
Which
say
you wouldn't.
churgu.
Yeah.
Nobody says churgu in Tibet, spoken Tibet, they say
They
churgu.
don't.
Churgu. But they shouldn't. Okay. Gelong ki kap shin yin la. Che chuguponi. These 19 are the same as when we're talking about a fully ordained monk. Okay, got it? We had 10 and then we had 9. The 10 he only gave 3. He gave 1, 2, and 4, if you remember. And they were Chang, Trel, and Jok.
Holding.
Right.
Holding what?
Holding on to something?
Duh. Sorry.
Money?
What was that? Chang cloth.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Setting.
Yeah, good. Yeah. Holding cloth too long without making it into robes. Separate?
Being separate from your son, like from other virtues.
Longer than 24-hour period.
Yeah, being separated overnight
Robes, that's
from your robes.
This is much more recent.
And what was the time limit?
Overnight.
the next
More
day,
specifically,
sunrise.
next day,
yeah, not sunrise, daybreak.
Break of dawn.
Daybreak.
Yeah.
So in English, there's a difference between daybreak and sunrise.
you can see all.
Daybreak, you can see the light in the sky, but the sun hasn't come up yet. Okay. So if day breaks and you're not with your robes, you broke the vow. Okay. Then the fourth vow was joke.
Setting, right?
You set someone to,
Set someone of another
Robes
sex.
with the
yeah. So a nun can ask another nun to wash her robes, but a nun cannot ask a monk to wash her robes. Okay, and vice versa. Okay, good. This is like Talmud.
Yeah.
It gets real. I was hanging out with some Jewish diamond dealers a lot, and they're like, "Oh man, that sounds like Talmud, right?" They have many books of rules in Jewish religion.
My brother was a sort of a satirical Jewish thing where they were coming up with what the Talmud would have rules about Christmas trees, like, this fine it needs to be, but that needs to be. That's what his thing was.
Christmas is big in China. They were playing Christmas carols in the airport. Anyway,
In Shenzhen, they have giant Santa Clauses.
okay, go. Oh, you got the plane. I take the person who talks the
Not
most.
an English D.
I take the person who...
I didn't cross the.
Sorry.
This is a nice try.
They was already me.
He's pretending he was listening.
Sure, that was a good try. You got a 50-50 chance.
Ngunzin.
Prenatal.
Ngunzin.
Ngunzin. Dog zam.
Some.
Zam. Mi gelong. Gi kapsu. Kapsu. Shepa. Euro.
Nice.
Cool. Tedaki. What's Ngunzin?
Hold the face to recognize.
Yeah, or introduce. You know, it can mean either. Good, recognize. But it means I will identify these vows. I will describe these vows, what they are. And then he says Ndotsam. Anybody want to take a guess?
Only as the sutra.
No, short, in a short.
Nice. Just in brief. Yeah, nice.
Dog zam.
Extremely nice. Because do is rarely. What's do normally?
Sutra.
Yeah, sutra.
What's sutra?
It can also mean a crossroads.
Right, yeah, crux.
Okay, but here it means